Welcome to Internet Content with the Boys. That's the podcast that's outside for another fucking episode. Also, the podcast that's going to have to bleep out that because I was in the first 7 seconds, wasn't it?
Yeah, why do you do that?
Because
you did it on purpose.
Because it's funny.
Do you think they don't? Do you think they're going to care that it's bleeped out? They're going to hate us either way. There's just going to be a JoJo's time skip instead. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do that, but there's going to be a JoJo's time skip.
Okay.
It's been what, like?
It's been like 5 minutes.
It's been about 20 minutes since we stopped recording last episode. This is the closest recordings we've ever had to each other.
Did we not ever do a back-to-back before?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I'm working on pulling up the first thing. All right. This is a tier list review. All right, we're going to review a tier list.
Okay.
This is the Risk of Rain 2 characters, but they're tier listed by their 7 deadly sins. All right, so
You sent that, didn't you?
Yeah, I sent the link. Yeah. Now, there are some of these that I believe... this is Risk of Rain 1, so there are some of them that we're just not going to know. All right.
This is Risk of Rain Returns, is it not? Because some of these characters were not in Risk of Rain 1.
Yeah, probably. All right, so in the Lust tier, Commando. So, would Commando be very lustful? I feel like...
Huntress, maybe.
I feel like he'd be staring at Huntress's double cheeked up. Yeah. Because, I mean...
Artificer, probably. He might like big dommy mommies like Loader.
Or Acrid. He might be into that.
He could be into bestiality.
He could be into Acrid. I mean,
not.
Because it's like, is Commando just a regular like human under his suit or whatever?
I think so.
Because he doesn't have any abilities that would suggest otherwise.
He just uses guns and slides or rolls. And throws grenades.
Out of anybody on here, I feel like he would be the most lustful. Now, I don't know who that other dude is.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Anyway,
someone new.
In Gluttony,
I know who Chef is.
Yeah, Chef Gluttony. That makes perfect sense.
But,
that's what.
But Chef doesn't eat food. He's a robot. I would figure like, do any of them eat? We've never seen any Risk of Rain character eat. They eat foreign fruits.
Foreign fruits. Yeah.
So okay, Rex isn't on here. I guess Rex isn't in Risk of Rain Returns.
I guess not.
Can we just
is that Rex right there? That robot?
That's probably that's either Multi or the broski with the hammer.
Oh no, yeah, I was thinking Multi, not Rex. Yeah, Rex sitting on here.
Yeah, Rex would be gluttonous. He likes his healing fruits. From my experience, seeing you play as him.
The gluttony makes a lot of sense for, a chef character, but since he is a robot, that makes a lot of sense. I think we're gonna have to detract points for that one. I don't think that one's very accurate. If anything, maybe Chef would be, I don't know, envy, perhaps? Would he be what? He might be envious of not being able to eat since he cooks the food, but he can't eat it.
We can go with that.
We can go with
that.
We
don't know anything about this character.
We can go to envy. Now, greed, I don't know either of these two characters.
The second one is the miner.
The miner.
That makes sense. Mining for gold, I guess. I've never played as the miner. I think I downloaded the miner mod on Risk of Rain 2 once.
Yeah.
And then I played for half of a match, and then that was it.
Mm-hmm. Then in Sloth, we're just gonna say that's Multi.
Yeah.
What?
He does move slow. I can see why these are in Sloth, because his slowing movement abilities, and he seems like the slowest.
Engineer being in Sloth makes a whole lot of sense.
Slow, and I'm pretty sure that's it's not Commando, because that's already a thing. The Enforcer, because I'm pretty sure that's also a mod in Risk of Rain 2. Broski with big shield.
Yeah, because I mean, like, Engineer being there makes perfect sense, because he just sits there with this bungus turret.
He's a slow guy.
Yeah. Wrath, that makes complete sense. So Loader just swings around everywhere, just fucking everybody up.
Punches them as hard as she possibly can, and they explode. And then the poison dog.
Yeah, Acrid. I mean, that
makes a lot of sense.
He couldn't be anything other than Wrath. Maybe Gluttony, but I think Wrath is still most fitting for him. Now, Envy,
I feel like this kind of makes sense. Being Bandit,
because he sucks and his abilities don't scale well for late game.
Well, yeah, I don't think he sucks, but he's a bandit. And Artificer Envy is like knowledge, wanted to be smart.
Yeah.
And then
short dude. I don't know who that's supposed to be.
Is that I don't know who it's supposed to be, but that's just short commando, is it not? He's got a little thing poking off his shoulder.
Yeah, I don't even know. Then Pride, Huntress, definitely Pride.
Yeah, I could see Huntress and Mercenary being in there.
She's in it for the thrill of the hunt.
Yeah.
And then
is that supposed to be? I don't know who that middle one is.
That's Railgunner.
Oh, because that's the alternate skin. Yeah.
I think Railgunner definitely, because it's like if you're using a sniper, like you're gonna be Pride.
No scoping.
Yeah.
Headshots. Quick scopes.
Yeah.
Quick scopes for days. Disrespect.
And then obviously,
shout out to name will probably have to be bleeped. Best sniper duel I ever had.
Yeah.
Almost just tipped backwards in my seat.
And then Jabroni, you like with the sword.
Yeah. Mercenary. He is all about dying first.
He's all about getting up in people's asses and saying that he's the best.
I love it when I have lunar coins to spend, or we're doing a run where I play as mercenary and we're going to play until the game crashes, because then I can spend all of my lunar coins on purities. And now it'd be super easy to counteract the purities with clovers, so that'd be even easier now.
The green scrap.
Just so I can use my invulnerable damage people button infinitely and have like no cooldown on it. Have that half a second cooldown.
Yeah, I mean that's so good. That's really OP. What characters are not on this because we can place them?
Commando, not commando. Nope. Guy with shotgun hand.
Yeah, Captain. I would put Captain in Wrath maybe.
I would put Captain in Pride. He's big man in charge. He's not prideful though.
Yeah, Captain's all about like getting up in people's faces and doing big damage shotgun blast to them. You know what I mean? Like I could see him being.
We could put Captain in Sloth. He has no movement abilities.
But movement abilities like speed and whatever make him infinitely better. So I like he doesn't have abilities that like incentivize him standing still. I think I would put him in Wrath. I think because he's all about big damage. Or maybe Pride. You may be right.
I know we talked about Rex going in Gluttony. The only Void Fiend, Wrath.
Void Fiend is definitely okay.
He literally has Angui mode.
His Angui mode would be Wrath. What would his normal mode be?
Isn't he just a corrupted commando? Could his normal mode be in Lust? He also wants Huntress's thick ass.
We can say that. Who doesn't? Let's be real.
I know there's so many mods to make,
especially if you have the ass mod equipped. Yeah.
That was something.
It is something.
The only other broski that's a playable character is the Heretic, which would definitely be Wrath or Pride.
Yeah.
Where would the Newt be?
The Newt.
Would the Newt be Greed? All we do is give him coins.
That is true.
Mithrix? Pride.
Yeah, Mithrix is definitely
Didn't he kill his brother because of Pride?
I think so. I don't know the lore.
Yeah.
Providence.
Yeah.
His brother.
And then there is Crab.
Crab.
I don't know anything about the Crab.
Me neither.
8th deadly sin, Crab. Settled.
But yeah, again, no easy transition. I have no idea about PlayStation ads, whatever you're talking about. Yeah. I haven't seen anything. I don't know.
I am glad that you haven't seen this. Let me go to my notes, and I'm just going to hand you my phone. I saw a post on Reddit. It's just various PlayStation ads. Like, that first one is, someone holding a controller, and in their veins, there's X squares, O's, and triangles.
And their eyeballs? Dude, what
Let
the
me know
fuck?
when you get to the nipples.
How is this face one even a PlayStation ad?
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, have you never seen those PS3 ads that were like the baby doll? That was just so weird.
Are these condoms?
Yes. Yes.
It's more powerful than God.
Yes, that was so funny. I can't even believe it. It's so crazy. It's like,
oh God, the nipples. Oh no. Why?
the nipples.
Okay, those
are glorious.
I'm just so confused. Who is this appealing to? Any of these?
Games was supposed to be wacky and crazy back in the day. Dude, have you not seen any of the PS3 ads?
I don't think I have.
Dude, they're weird. While I'm looking up some PS3 ads, I'm gonna push us. I'm going to send you this link. And, yeah. While I look up PS3 ads. Yeah. The creepy baby. I watched this on TV.
Editing, Landon, just kind of slap it about right here.
I'm not going to play the whole ass ad. I might put a picture up.
Oh, that's for the fucking gyroscope
motion
thing.
Controls. Okay.
Those were so bad.
They were so bad. Yep. That's something. I never saw the second two.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I don't even know what PlayStation ads I've seen. Like, I don't even know if I've seen any PS5 ads.
I've seen, because normally if it's whenever I saw PS5 ads, it was an ad for a game for the PS5.
Yeah.
Like, that's how they advertise the consoles now. Is with the games.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of
the console
weird
itself
commercials.
Yeah.
Did you happen to look at that thing that I sent you?
Yeah.
PlayStation stuff. There is going to be a God of War half sequel.
God of War Miles Morales.
Yeah, it like
exaggerated swagger of a Jotun teen.
Yes, yeah, it's probably going to like. We might not get a entire boy trilogy just yet, but we'll get like a boy game, just like how there was Uncharted Lost Legacy.
I really hope the title is God of Mischief.
That would be awesome. I mean, it really would fit very well.
Yeah, and I mean, is it going to be Norse or is it going to be somewhere else?
I don't think we know anything about it. Just that it's planned to be a thing someday. But it was 50 days ago that thing was shared, so we might have more information on it now. I haven't looked.
They said that they were done with the Norse saga, but if this is like a half sequel, then I don't know exactly what that would entail.
Yeah, I have no clue. I'm excited. I want to play it. I like me some Gao.
Okay, this says they don't even know whether it will be a separate game or a Ragnarok DLC.
There's no way it's going to be a DLC.
Yeah, I don't think so. Like
unless we played as Kratos. That's the only thing. I just figure it's going to be a separate thing. It's going to sell at 50 as the starting price.
Whoever leaked it also leaked that there is a God of War Ragnarok DLC in development back in August 2023.
That's something.
Santa Monica's working on bringing more God of War content. Like a sequel, it says, or a DLC, or the half sequel.
More God of War? I don't care what it is. I want it.
Yeah, I mean, it might be something like, Lost Legacy or First Light or whatever. It's like $40 and it's not a full thing. Like, I would pay $40 for a...
First Light sucks so bad.
Yeah. I mean, it was just...
That was not even like... That should have just been part of Infamous.
Yeah, it should have just been a DLC
yeah, the vampire stuff.
Yeah.
And the second one. I never played that. I didn't have it when I played through the games my past times.
I don't know how the primary stuff works on PS3, but if you ever wanted to,
no, it's just with the primary stuff, your games can be downloaded onto I think 2 consoles at a time, and that's it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
sure
that is really cool.
On my PS5 though, I think I have to stream it.
Yeah. Now you said you have something special for me.
That's what that was. That there's going to be more God of War.
I see.
There is going to be more Gao one day.
That is, yeah. So isn't it something like there was something that was canon that said that he had already been to Egypt? So
yeah, there was comics and stuff. He'd been to Egypt. He killed someone important there, and the dude who prophesized him going to be there and him going to kill that guy, and it all came true. He also said he's not coming back. That doesn't mean Boy's not going to be.
I wouldn't be sad if they just said, "Oh yeah, that's not canon anymore. We're gonna make Egyptian games because Egyptian mythology is just cool as fuck. It's metal."
Yeah.
But like, what else could they even do? Like Japanese?
I don't know. I don't know many other religions or mythologies.
Yeah, or like Mayan or whatever.
Mine would be cool. You'd
Yeah.
fight some big old dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I would totally love to fight me the big snake, the big wind snake, because that would all be in the air most likely.
Yeah. I mean, I know Chinese mythology is cool. What was that game that was coming out where you play as a monkey dude and it's all Chinese mythology?
There have been so many Wukong games that have like I feel like there's been like 3 Wukong games that have been either announced or released within like the past year or year
Yeah.
from now.
I don't know. I just know of the one that I've seen that it looked pretty good.
It might be that I've seen stuff from all the same one. It's just that they look
Mhm.
different. I didn't play them, so I have no idea.
Yeah. So if you didn't play them, I assumed you watched them on YouTube. While you were watching them on YouTube, did you see any weird AI ads or
Dude,
some
there's
shit?
been so odd. I can't believe you haven't seen them. Maybe I've seen
Maybe
it
I just haven't
because
recognized them because I don't pay attention to
because
the ads.
the first ones that I saw that weren't AI, it was just some dude who called you stupid within the first 4 seconds, so you might not click skip. And it's something that it's like, oh, if you didn't get this $6,000 from the government last night, you're stupid, and here's why. And then it went for like another minute and a half explaining. But
I haven't seen that.
I've seen ones where it had Joe Biden on there, and it wasn't even him speaking; it was AI, his voice saying that same stuff.
Biden.
And then I saw one just before you got back down here that was Andrew Tate saying stuff.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like I'm not going to go give my information to these people to not get $6,000. This is a total scam. I wouldn't have seen the ad in multiple ways like this. And why would it be an ad on YouTube?
I don't know. Like that. I don't know if they just don't have like proper ad like checking or
They give them money. They don't care. It's not against their terms of service. It's not gambling. It's not kids being set on fire.
I mean, if a legit scam isn't against their terms of service, then what is? You know what I mean? Like, how is that not? They need to add something.
You can see naked people on YouTube very easily because like you can look up naked yoga and you'll see naked yoga stuff because it's considered
It's
educational.
yeah.
But
That's whack.
they're the way they are with their rules. They apply to some people but not to others, which we have seen a lot of recently with the Sniper Wolf stuff. Yeah,
That's
which in the past hour since we talked about that, we haven't heard any new information. Sorry if you wanted some SS Sniper Wolf Jax Films details.
yeah.
Dude, I love that he did that parody channel. That's so funny. I never watched any of his stuff, but like everything that she would react to, he would react to, giving similar comments, being like nothing. Because that's not the first person that he's done that about. I want to say the reason that channel was started, the person that was for, he does different content now. Like he makes content instead of just hardly reacting to things. So like it has had some benefits to some channels, which is kind of cool. It's just, I think Jack's Films is entertaining.
Yeah.
I haven't watched much of his stuff in the past while, but he's got some good stuff. He's been around for a long time. I guess I'll talk about that other YouTube channel. I know you've not heard of this, but Magic the Noah was originally a Magic the Gathering channel, I want to say.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, with the name. But he started making like board games and stuff. Like he not like out in like real board games, but he makes them on Google Slides. So it's just, like colored squares and circles, and the people have just their image of their YouTube channel icon, because he gets different YouTubers to play it. Like Small Ant, he speedruns stuff, he's been on it. Circle Tunes is an animator. Those were some very entertaining episodes with the ones that have him on it. He's very exaggerative.
Yeah.
And he likes fantasy settings, and like when he did that, they do like D&D stuff kind of, where it's not D&D, but it works similar. They'll have their 3 people and their goal is just to, go find and beat up the boss. Maybe their goal is always never told to them. They're just thrown in and told to go. But one of the ones with Circle Tune, they spin wheels all the time. You land on a space, you spin a wheel. So it's very random as to what happens. Yeah. You'll have to watch one of their videos. I'll have to find that one that I'm gonna be talking about, but someone
Uh,
someone landed on emotional damage as like they got on the bad wheel space. They landed on emotional damage and just it was like, Circle, I'm just gonna let you go with this one. For like 30 straight seconds, just him yelling. It's like if you've seen any of his animations, it's like that same stuff. It's like
yeah.
he's just playing wizard character talking to random goblins scolding him for little things. It was so entertaining. And then it happened later in the game to the same person.
Mm.
That was a good episode. It's just he's made Horrible Jeopardy where like one of the set of questions were all just about him and super specific. Another set was completely random stuff where all the answers were incorrect. One of the sets was just random chance whether you got it right. Like you pick one, your answer is automatically wrong, the other players get $200. Or the 400, yep, you get this one. This one is a 50-50 chance if you get it, so he flips a coin.
Yeah.
And you lost. That was that question.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
There was one of the board games where the players got to change the rules. Like they could just change a rule before their turn.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to add a space here. I want to teleport this person over there and delete the way through so they can't go that way. They have to go down instead.
And
But
they have to follow that rule for the rest of
the rules you could like Noah, he's got the say in it all, so he could say
Yeah.
no, that's too OP or whatnot. But it just had like a page with all the rules written on them as they started just to be written over each other as it went on. Some would get changed and deleted, some would get altered. It's very entertaining. Like I love seeing when he posts a video because that's one of the ones where I'll sit there and watch it instead of just listening to it. Because I like to see what happens. I love seeing the wheel spin and it getting super close to something, but then going to the next thing. Like I feel so invested in these. This is how I feel people feel when they watch sports.
Yeah. No, now I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm. Like there's been like YouTubers, like there's this one YouTuber, Chris James. He watches TLC shows and talks about them. I just watched one of the Magic to Noah videos, like that was posted 5 months ago, and he was in it. And I was like, what? He was one of the people playing, and it was so just odd. There's a lot of people that I don't know, and I know some of them are people from the Magic the Gathering community, but there's not been any of them that have just been like not fun to hear also play the game. It's very entertaining. There's a good bit of the videos. But yeah. I would love to do something like that one day, but I don't know how we would do that. Oh,
we don't have enough people.
That's true.
We need.
When looking stuff up, there's the YouTube, the Wikitubia. Apparently, in the trivia, he hates Yu-Gi-Oh! And his favorite Pokemon is Vaporeon. Vaporeon is oftentimes the shopkeeper in his games.
Huh.
That was pretty much it. It's very entertaining.
Yeah,
I really enjoy his stuff.
How long have we been recording?
25 minutes.
All right. Well, that's good because this next topic is gonna take a lot of time.
Should we do the word of the day first?
All right. So
can we pause for a second? I want to go do something real quick. Sorry, I know we might be here for a while.
Dude, what?
No, I'm pretty sure it's dead. I was getting it. I was getting it for a joke. I was just kidding. Yeah, no, it's dead. I thought about getting a controller, but I figured this would be funnier.
No. All right. So I'm gonna do an entire plot synopsis of Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm gonna explain it entirely to Landon. The fact that it is a 3.5 hour movie means that the plot synopsis that I'm gonna give down, especially if we get off on some tangents. I can't speak.
Tangentes.
Pregante.
Oh,
Is she pregnantomas? So,
can you get pregnant twice?
Is it okay to have sex while pregnant? So, before that, shit, you know what time it is, Landon?
Is it time for our blank of the day?
What do you think it's gonna be?
How the fuck am I supposed to know? It's like a random thing every time. It was literally piss statistics last episode.
What do you think it's gonna be?
I don't think we're gonna have a trolley problem this time. Also,
well, you're fucking wrong. Trolley problem of the day.
I do have that pill thing that we can also talk about right before.
Pill thing?
Yeah. It's just a Reddit post that I saw. It was like, which one would you choose? But they seem to be. There's 8 of them.
Well, we're running. It's time for the trolley problem, Landon.
Do it then.
All right. Train is approaching you and someone else. Neither of you can see what the other is doing. The other guy's lever controls the second and third intersections. If one of you pulls the lever, the people survive. If both or neither of you pull the lever, 5 people die. What do you do?
It's literally a 50-50 chance.
So you can't see what the other person is doing.
They can see what you did.
Can they? It says you can't see what each other are doing. Does it? What is the wording?
Well, it looks like he can very much see what you're doing. He's standing right there. We're just turned around. Yeah, it does say neither of you see what the other is doing.
Yeah. So it really is kind of a 50-50 chance.
I am going to not do anything. I will not. I'm not the one who put them on the track, just like I didn't put those people who would shame me for pushing the fat man onto the track, who obviously isn't going to be enough to stop the train, which he wasn't.
Oh, speaking of that one, you can only watch.
No, I put that in a video before. I put it in that episode. Like, I put it in right after we talked about the trolley problem.
All right, well, editor Landon, edit that out so I don't look stupid.
No. It's...
I am going to pull the lever because I'm assuming that the person on the other side is going to be following Landon's logic.
Cool, then we're fine. Neither of us kill people.
That's the trolley problem of the day. What fucking pill thing were you talking about?
I sent it to you. There's like 8 choices. It's yeah, it's which one would you choose? There is no need to sleep, no need to eat, no need to drink, no need to breathe, always be fit, never get sick, age 2 times slower, or $1,000 a month.
Be $12,000 a year.
Yeah, I don't think that one's worth it. I mean, you'd still have to work with that.
But you'd be a lot better off.
You would, but you'd still have to have a job and such.
It's like the equivalent of having like a second minimum wage job that you work full time.
Instead of getting $1,000 a month, I would rather just not sleep. But I think I would pick no need to breathe.
Well,
I don't know when exactly I would use that, but think how cool it would be to swim underwater for more than 30 seconds without something.
Yeah, but no need to sleep would be so OP.
No need to sleep is super OP.
Because
I like to eat and I like to drink things.
Because that's the thing. If you had no need to sleep, then you would
have so much time in a day.
You could work your, full-time job, and then it would still feel like you have like half of your life you can do whatever you want. Because it's like I
think no need to sleep is the most OP out of these.
That is like, I would consider always be fit, though. That would be nice. Just be jacked as fuck no matter what you do.
Well, it says always be fit, not always be jacked. I would hate to be, like, too buff.
Too buff, but that's insane.
No, fit, like, you're lean. You can see your muscles. You're not overweight. You're not bulky. You're fit.
Yeah.
You can have muscle on you, but you're not, like, huge or nothing.
Okay. I mean, yeah, fair enough. It's...
Never get sick. I don't care.
No need to sleep would be so...
No need to sleep is the most
I feel
OP.
like
I think no need to breathe would be the most fun.
It would.
Because, like, you could just go swimming out in the ocean and just keep swimming. Your only thing would be pressure. So you could still swim like 100 feet down without a tank. You could be down there way longer. You could make so much money with that.
Mm-hmm.
You could be like, you could go swim down to the Titanic. You just need a wetsuit to keep you warm.
Yeah.
We could have been the guy to go find that submarine.
I mean, other than the pressure, that's a big thing.
Yeah, but don't they make in the SpongeBob movie, the diver suit? You would need something just for the pressure, but it wouldn't need to be hooked up to anything with air. Because we can make stuff to withstand some of the pressure.
Could you make money with that? Like,
There's
no need to
very
breathe.
valuable things underwater.
I mean, you can do what Nathan Drake was doing at the beginning of Uncharted 4, but just like you can just stay down there for forever. You don't have an oxygen tank or anything. You can just vibe.
I don't even know what you're talking about. When I think of the
When he
beginning of
dives like
Uncharted,
under the water and whatever, when you go
when I
diving.
think of the beginning, I think of the very beginning because that was my first time using 3D audio in a game, and I did the
Ooh.
first section of that. No, that was way after we played, but that's the part that I remember the most. That was the only part I played twice. Was that first section, and
think I played
because
through
I
Uncharted
did it
4
without
twice.
looking at the TV because I could tell where the enemies were in 3D sound. It's really not that much cooler than just regular 2.1 audio.
But it's like the beginning, like before you even like start the adventure or whatever. It's like, you know, at his job or whatever, he's on the like boat and whatever, and he goes down and dives and he hooks stuff up to the thing that's gonna pull it up.
I do not remember.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you could do that, but just stay down there forever.
Yeah,
it would be.
I remember much more from the first and second game because I played them recently. I played Uncharted 4 probably the year it came out, and that was it.
I played Uncharted 4 when it came out, and I think one time after that. I did do 2 playthroughs, and I think I finished it. I want to say I finished it.
Well, I guess it's time.
It is time. All right, so Killers of the Flower Moon. It is 3.5 hours long, and you felt it. Like for the last hour of the movie, I was like, it's still going. But the thing is, like, it wasn't super slow. It was a good pacing. Like, it was a really good movie. I mean, Martin Scorsese directing, Leonardo DiCaprio, fucking, you know.
Fucking?
Yeah, fucking.
Okay, cool.
Leonardo DiCaprio, fucking. I think he
19-year-olds only. Exclusively.
Anyway. No, I think it's he doesn't date anybody that's over the age of like 25,
which is so weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Like,
and he's like in his 40s now.
Which, like, I think it is a little odd for someone older to date someone younger. I wouldn't say that's wrong because, you know, they're both adults. They can make their own decisions.
Yeah, and like he tells like the girls know, like they know what they're getting themselves into.
It's just odd to think about.
It's just weird, yeah. Like, and they're consenting when it's like, okay, yeah, when I'm 26, we're gonna break up. Like, they know what's up.
That's just so...
It's whack.
So weird.
Yeah. You done fucked yourself?
Nope.
now your triggers aren't gonna work properly someday because of that.
It's on the bottom part. They're not touching the triggers.
I see.
It's on the part right below the triggers. And do you realize how like durable Nintendo devices are?
Yeah, it's because they're made
for children. They're made to be beat up a little bit and still work.
I mean, dude, I was riding on the bus on the way to school one time in like elementary school, and I let some dude borrow.
Yeah, didn't he just kind of
my red Mario DS?
Oh
yeah, and he was playing something. And it was like I was about to get off on my stop, so I was like, "Hey, I need my DS back." And he was like, "No, I'm finishing this thing." And like the bus was stopped, and like I had to get off, and I was like, "I need my DS." And then he just fucking snapped it backwards. I was like, "Dude,
yep,
dude." And then he said he would pay for it, and then he didn't.
Of course he didn't,
because he's a little bitch.
Yeah,
he was like in high school. I was in like second grade.
I was in second grade.
Like
Some
dude.
People just suck.
Yeah, no, he was just a dick.
You know his name? We should dox him.
We should dox him. I have no idea how I would ever find that information.
It'd be like that.
I have no clue what he even looked like.
Understandable.
Even if I had a yearbook or something. Anyway, the Killers of the Flower Moon, it's based on a true story. It took place in 1920s Osage County, Oklahoma. The Osage were a group of Indians, right?
It's that one. Okay, I thought that's the movie you're talking about.
Yeah, it's all about the murders of Native Americans for their money. So, per capita...
Money?
Yes. Listen, per capita, the Osage tribe was the richest nation, clan, or social group of any race on Earth because of all of the oil that was discovered there. And in 1923 alone, more than...
Spider on me.
I had a spider on me earlier.
We are outside.
The tribe took in 1 year alone, it took in more than $30 million which in
And
today's
yeah, that's got to be a bunch of money.
which in today's money is over 400 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Robert
Still, that's not even a percent of what the richest man in the world has.
Yeah, which is fucking insane.
I know I know we're supposed to go on tangents. I forget what the games are called. Do you know the password game? Ludwig played a lot of them. There's just this one dude. He makes various games that you can play just on your browser. They're comical. The password game, your goal is to make a password. So you just write down something, and then you'll get your first rule. It needs to start with a capital letter or something.
Yeah.
Your second rule, it needs to have a number. You get down to like rule 14, it needs to have the URL of a YouTube video that ends, or that is exactly 20 minutes and 11 seconds. You need to have all of your any letters in there that are Roman, that could be Roman numerals, they need to be capitalized and they need to add up to a certain thing. But also your numbers need to only add up to a certain thing, but you also need to have a leap year in there. It's absurd. I think there's like 32 rules. Me and my parents tried for like an hour and a half. We got to like rule 23.
So do you try to guess the password?
No, you're making a password. One of the things, you have to figure out the Wordle answer of the day. It has to be in your password.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's really entertaining.
Huh.
I was going to say I was going somewhere with this. There was one of the games that I wanted to talk about. Okay. The website is neil.fun. Okay, we were talking about the richest man in the world. They have absurd trolley problems. I said that wrong. They have absurd trolley problems. Design the next iPhone. Days since incident. Wonders of Street View. Draw a perfect circle, which you literally just have to draw a circle and it will grade you. Asteroid launcher, space elevator, password game, internet artifacts. I don't know what half of these are. Earth review, let's settle this. Blardy, blardy, blar. One of them is like, can you spend all of Jeff Bezos's money? Or it's Bill Gates is what it is. Okay.
Like we could eventually. I mean,
it's $100 billion. You can buy a Big Mac, $2 flip-flops, 3, Coca-Cola for 5, movie tickets 12, 15 for books, 45 for lobster dinners, 60 for a video game, 99 for an Alexa, a year of Netflix, Air Jordans, AirPods. But it goes down like a horse, luxury wine, diamond, Rolex.
So you have to pick out of those things?
No, you can pick as many as you want. I'm going to buy 105.25 million Super Bowl ads. That spent, I still have $99 billion, 569 million. I bought 101 Super Bowl ads right there. It's let's buy 300 of these Formula 1 cars that are 15 million. I have $94 billion, almost 95. Let's buy 30 mansions. Let's make 69 movies. I'm going to buy the Mona Lisa 420 times. Oh, am I running out of money? No, it's still counting my money down. I can only buy one of the Mona Lisa. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess. I'll buy 420 cruise ships. I can buy 92 cruise ships, I guess.
Oh.
I'm almost out of money. I had to buy 92 cruise ships to almost run out of money. I can still, here, if I bump this down to like 88, yeah, and I can still buy an NBA team. Currently, that's 101 Super Bowl ads, 301 Formula 1 cars, 31 mansions, 70 movies, 1 Mona Lisa, 88 cruise ships, and an NBA team for $98 billion. I still have $1 billion. I have almost $2 billion left. $100 billion is a lot of money.
Spend the rest on drugs.
I mean, probably. Okay. So these Indians, they had $400 million worth of oil.
Yeah. So Robert De Niro's character, he had built up like a reputation with the Osage Indians. He helped them with like the founding of the town, and he like helped build the infrastructure and all of that. And so the Osage all like trusted him, and they were like pretty Americanized for the most part, like, you know, as far as 1920s go. And like they all trusted him, but he only did it for the money. He had a scheme the whole time.
Funny.
I think in total, 20 something people were murdered in the whole scheme.
Cool.
the Indian people were all considered sickly. Like that's, like a common thing. Like the white people brought a bunch of diseases and shit over
Yeah.
anyway.
That's so
And
whack how that could happen.
the specific thing they had a lot of problems with was diabetes for whatever reason. Which
The Indians had problems with diet. It's because they were
Yeah.
eating different food.
Yeah, no, it's because like they had like sugar and stuff that like their bodies weren't capable of like
Dude,
processing.
I know. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how. I only don't have diabetes because I live in America. My body's used to it.
Yeah.
My blood. I was born with sugar in my blood.
No, I mean like if like bread, bread
bread's got
that
sugar
white
in it.
people make was too much sugar for them. Like they get
So
diabetes
crazy.
from that shit.
So crazy.
Like that's yeah. Anyway, DiCaprio's character shows up, and De Niro is his uncle. Now, DiCaprio is a bit of a dumbass in the movie. Like you can really tell he's not too bright. The whole movie, all he does is like what other people tell him to. For the most part, like he can't think for himself. So it was really easy for De Niro to deceive him to make sure all the money goes to his family. And he mentions to him like, "Hey, if you happened to marry an Indian woman, all that money would be clean. Like you'd get it and there wouldn't be anything illegal about it. Like you'd marry into the family. You would get that oil money, my dude."
Sounded kind of sus.
Yeah, and like at the very beginning of the movie, he was like, "Hey, you like women?" And DiCaprio was like, "Yeah, I like women. I like big women, little women, red women, black women, white women." That scene was really funny when he was talking about it. He's just super fucking straight. But I think that just more or less.
Did he marry Pocahontas? Is that how this was? No, she's supposed to be like 14.
It's like in the 1700s. This is like
I don't care.
200
I guess she's
years
too old
later.
for him now.
Yeah, she's over 25, my dude.
Damn it.
But anyway, I think De Niro saying that just kind of put
Banjo.
Banjo,
Come here, Banjo. Okay, we have a visitor.
Yeah, we
keep
have
talking. I'm just gonna pet him when he comes on screen.
Dope.
Continue, please.
Yeah, I think De Niro saying that just put the thought in DiCaprio's head that like rather than him doing it solely for that reason, but he ends up marrying an Osage girl named Molly with an IE, and he was like chauffeuring her around in a taxi, like that was his job, I guess, for the time being. The movie is kind of like, I do think that he genuinely loved her, but he did a lot of things that made you think that he wasn't, but that just might be because he's a fucking dumbass.
Yeah.
Which I'll get into. He has 2 kids with her, but he gets wrapped up in De Niro's scheme.
Do that somewhere else.
Right there. But he gets wrapped up in De Niro's scheme because, like I said, he can't think for himself. He just does everything De Niro tells him to. And DiCaprio's brother, he was doing the same thing, only he was doing it just for the money. Like, he didn't love his wife or whatever. He married one of Molly's sisters, who ended up dying, so he married another one of their sisters.
Awesome. And love to see it.
Keep in mind, this is all a true story. This is like a true crime type deal. And like everything was so blatantly obvious, but nobody cared or could see it because of the reputation De Niro had, built with the Osage tribe. And plus, like, they didn't even see Indians as people. Like, at one point, DiCaprio, like, goes up to a guy and asks him, to murder somebody for him. And he goes, I ain't about that work. I'm doing clean stuff, whatever. And then DiCaprio's like, well, it's an engine. And he's like, well, you could have just said that. What's the job?
Started with that.
Yeah.
Pulls a shotgun out of his back pocket.
Yeah, and it's
GTA style, just appears in his hand.
Yeah.
He's ready to go.
Molly's mother died due to poison, but it was passed off as diabetes. They like gave her poison as quote unquote, like medicine for the diabetes.
Sick.
Yeah, and
JoJo's moment.
Her sister was just shot in the head. Nobody gave a fuck though.
Okay.
So was her first husband, which DiCaprio straight up hired a guy to do because De Niro convinced him to. But the guy that DiCaprio got to do it, um, he didn't set it up like a suicide like he was supposed to, because he got to know the dude first, which was a mistake, because like he just like, because he liked him, like he was like he was an alcoholic and he was depressed, the Indian guy, and like, because back then they would say like, go to the doctor, and it's like he's not, that fluent in English, he doesn't know how things work for the most part, and he's like, so what symptoms have you been dealing with today? And he says, something like, well, I've been sad, and the doctor just goes, oh, get some whiskey in you, that'll fix you up, and he's just laughing about it, and he doesn't think he's serious and whatever, but he like actually has like depression, like he's gonna, and I think this is like during Prohibition, so like it's hard to get alcohol. And so the guy that DiCaprio hired for him, he got him alcohol and they would drink together. And, that's why I kind of liked him, and he didn't frame it as a suicide because, he just wanted to do it and get away. But yeah, so it was so blatantly obvious that it was a murder. So, like, the cops came in and whatever. I'll get to that later. Molly's last remaining sister and her husband died when their house exploded from fucking dynamite.
That's something.
Yeah, in the basement or whatever. Which, go figure, DiCaprio did it.
Dude, you want to hear a story about a different family dying because of a basement? They died because of potatoes. Yeah, there was, the wife was cooking dinner for everyone. There's 2 kids and grandma. Dad, like, oh, I'll go downstairs and grab some potatoes. Wife, oh, be careful. They're kind of old. Goes in, closes the door, doesn't come back up. Mom, after a little bit, I wonder why he hasn't come back in. Opens the door, goes downstairs, closes it. It's like they all closed the door behind him, and that's where it went wrong.
Yeah.
The mom went down there, then the brother went down there, then the grandma went down there, but she didn't close the door. They all died of poison because the potatoes were old and the stagnant air down there, it was just poison the air. There was like spores and stuff in the air.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And because they left, the grandma left the door open, when the 5-year-old went down there, the last one alive, when she went down there, she did not just keel over, and she was able to go and like find the neighbors. So crazy that some potato air does that.
Yeah, I
didn't
even know potatoes.
Don't store your potatoes in the basement.
Yeah, apparently.
It's cold, dark place, spores and stuff, fungus starts to grow on them. It's just the gases that it produces you're not supposed to breathe. If the air was ventilated more, like, then it wouldn't have been a problem. It's just because it was so still down there because it was a basement. That's what got them.
Yeah,
it's so crazy that's even a thing that can happen.
But by the time like their house exploded or whatever, DiCaprio and his wife and his 2 kids were like living in a house together that they had bought one, and like by that time she was getting like really sick, like she had gotten diabetes and whatever, and when they took her to the doctor, they told him about this brand new miracle medicine called insulin.
Oh
yeah. But it was expensive as fuck. I think at the time only 5 people in the world were getting treated with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now it's still super expensive, but it's
it's
super easy to make. Like, I think insulin could be sold for like $5, and they would still make money off of it. But it's sold for like $1,700. It's like an absurd markup. Just because, how else are they going to get it?
No.
So they make it expensive. So stupid.
That seems like a scam.
Yes, it is insane. A scam. That's just how pharmacies work, Jake.
Yeah. I mean, man.
I mean, not pharmacies, but big pharma, as it's called.
America! Fuck yeah! Anyway, then Molly went to Washington, D.C. with like a group of the Osage. That was like, she was there like representing them or whatever. And they like shared with the federal government like the stuff about the murders, and they sent the FBI out there to investigate. The lead FBI guy was played by Todd from Breaking Bad.
Which one is Todd? I gotta think. Is that the redhead dude?
Yeah.
He liked
He's
Lydia.
that motherfucker.
Yeah, I didn't think he was that awful. Like, he was mean. I'm glad he died after watching his girlfriend get murked.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
He was just he was just a little bitch in Breaking Bad.
No, I mean, he was mean. He was against our boys, who were also mean to everyone. But we were rooting for our main characters because they're the protagonists, and Jesse was cool.
Mm-hmm. He was really good in this movie, though. He I liked his performance and everything. He anyway, De Niro told DiCaprio to start putting something in Molly's insulin. He said it was to make it to where she wouldn't talk if she was questioned by the FBI, which DiCaprio never even second guessed.
That's something.
But it was poison.
Who'd have guessed?
To slowly kill her and make it look like it was diabetes, obviously.
Hey, you want to hear about this one dude who got poisoned?
Okay.
I don't know where any of these things happen. I just hear about the story, and then I don't remember the names or where. I just remember the what. It was this dude. He had found some big government secrets, and he was gonna tell them to like a panel of people.
Yeah.
And the only person who knew about it was like she didn't know what it actually was, but he had told his mom, like, "Hey, I found something big. So, if something happens to me, blardy blar." He was talking to a friend the day before he went to go spill all the beans, and he started coughing up some black liquid and died. Just like out on a park bench with his friend.
That's fun.
His last words were, "I've been poisoned," or "They poisoned me." That's what it was. They poisoned me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
I know I've told you about this, but like, it's that car that could run off of any flammable fuel. That I think there was like 7 of them made. It was a Chevy, I want to say.
Yeah.
But the
some president
of Venezuela got one, and he said that he was only going to power it with tequila as a joke, which is super funny. Absolute Giga Chad move.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, I'd do that.
Just for the government hates when they aren't in control. It's crazy. I know. They love to make money because they're so in debt and they love spending money.
Yeah, and anyway, DiCaprio, he got taken in by the FBI to, question him and whatever. And while he's there, people come to get Molly, who, at that point, well, the only reason Molly was still alive was because instead of giving her the last, dose of insulin with the shit in it, he, gave her the insulin, and then he just, poured the stuff in his, fucking whiskey or whatever it was and drank it himself. Because he knew he was going to get questioned by the FBI and he didn't want to talk. Because he thought that's still what it was for.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But I think if she would have gotten that last dose, she would have died because she was so close. But yeah, while he's there, people come to get Molly, who at that point, without her insulin for however long, while he was taken in, she was on the verge of death, and they took her to a hospital, and she was better in a few days. She had to learn how to walk again.
Oof.
It was crazy.
That is absolutely absurd that can even happen, that you can get sick and then not be able to walk.
Yeah.
It's just I cannot comprehend how that even works.
Because first you lose circulation in your feet when you have diabetes and whatever. And
so crazy. Because there's so many things that can happen that will make you forget how to do normal functioning things. We don't even think about walking. It's just kind of something we do.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, no, it would be crazy. Or to tear an ACL or something and then have to relearn to use that muscle fiber. There are certain ones, I don't know if it's a hamstring, I think it's an ACL. They take it out and take some muscle from somewhere else in your body or some muscle they got from something else and put a new tendon in your leg or your ACL, I guess that'll be in the front. But it's crazy. And it's you can come back stronger from that.
We should start purposely tearing our ACLs and asking them to give us gorilla ones.
Dude, I was listening to a podcast. Shout out, Baseball is Dead. They're the broadcaster for the Oakland A's. He I don't know how jokingly it was or if he was just dead ass serious, but he was talking about like instead of like Tommy John surgery, right? Where you like take out a tendon and replace it in your arm. He's talking about just take it out and replace it with like a monkey tendon.
Yeah.
Because think about it, like they're just swinging through the trees
they're
and they're
strong.
using so much of their like. Imagine getting up there. You just had monkey Tommy John surgery, and you go up and you just sling a baseball 130 miles an hour. Like,
Dude, I know.
Like, but
One day gene splicing will be a thing, and no one will ever be able to break any records because none of it will matter. It'll just be who has the most big, strong DNA inside of them. They're the ones that can lift the biggest boulder or throw the ball the farthest.
There'll probably be an asterisk, like these are all the records pre-genetic splicing, and these are all the records post. Like it'll be like a different thing.
Dude, it's like the same thing, once the first person is born not on Earth, our passports are gonna have planet of origin on them.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so awesome.
Yeah.
I hope that happens in our lifetime. I would love to see a planet of origin on my license.
It would be really cool.
Even if I never get to go to space, that would be cool to see.
I hope it doesn't happen because we're evacuating Earth because it's uninhabitable.
Yeah.
But like, I hope it happened. Like we just start slowly colonizing Mars. So by the time we have to go there, when the Earth dies, we'll have infrastructure there.
That's that one dude who people thought was cool, and then he did the dumbest stuff you've ever seen. That's what his plan is. I wonder how he's gonna ruin Twitter more.
Like, okay. If we brought water to Mars, do they have like a weather cycle?
Mars already has water.
But is there like a weather cycle? Like,
every planet's got weather. It's just different than ours.
Like, would the water cycle work close enough to the same? Like,
you would have to be either underground or enclosed above ground.
Like,
until we somehow figured out how to make a planet-wide atmosphere, which I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
Because you can't just start planting trees or nothing. How are they going to grow in the first place?
Yeah.
It's really cold there.
I bet there are probably some plants, but like they could probably. I mean, what is the atmosphere even made out of?
Cold.
Okay, based.
It's cold and dry there. I mean, all the water that is there is ice. So
yeah. But
there are shadow structures there that look like buildings.
Yeah.
But we haven't been there, so they just look like buildings from our cameras that we've taken pictures of from really, really far away. So it could be just like that mountain is really square shaped.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a face on Mars. You can go to it in Starfield. There's a hidden collectible there. It's a snow globe.
That's dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then like where DiCaprio is at the courtroom, jail cell, wherever he is, Brendan Fraser shows up.
Dude, Brendan Fraser's cool as hell.
And you can tell he hasn't lost the weight from that whale movie yet. He's still like Lark Boy.
Well, a lot of that was
CG, but he was still pretty hefty for it.
I think that's just because he doesn't work.
No, he was bigger than he was bigger than regular Brendan Fraser is. Like he put on weight for the movie, but a lot of it was CG. Anyway,
I thought it was like practical effects. Like he was wearing like
a blend
X-Men, Wolverine origins.
It was a blend of all three, I think. It was a mix. Anyway, he shows up and a bunch of courtroom stuff goes down. I think he's the lawyer, and DiCaprio ends up pleading guilty to everything, and Molly was in the audience, and so she knows that like
he killed her whole family.
Yeah. And for that scene, this is my favorite scene in the movie when he's like saying guilty to everything, because the judge is just like explaining like all of the fucking atrocities that he did throughout the movie, and for that scene it just held completely still on DiCaprio's face. And like the whole time while he said yes to every like disturbing detail, and all you could think about it was like imagining being Molly, like in the crowd, like your whole family is dying around you and you have the same sickness your mother had and a whole lot more people know you died from. And like, and the one man that had been with you through it all, and like the reason, like he was the reason that it all happened. Like your one like pillar that you were leaning against was like the reason that all this shit was happening to you. Like your entire life got fucked up because like
For our
just
folks at
imagining
home,
that. Yeah.
please think before you decide to marry someone.
Or before you decide to murder someone.
Well, you should always think before you murder,
Hmm.
because you don't want to do that willy-nilly, because you'll probably get caught. You probably shouldn't murder people. You're probably going to get caught. Forensics are really good nowadays.
Yeah, but at one point DiCaprio was asked if the only
Do you want another tangent? I can say stuff about courthouses. I don't know how much more you have. I have not seen.
just that much. I don't have any more scrolling to do.
Okay, yeah, dude. In Chrono Trigger, like right at the end of the first chapter, you have to be put on trial in a courtroom, and a lot of your decisions up to that point dictate what happens. You're asked a few questions, and you answer them. You know whether you are guilty or not. And like before you get there, when you start, you go to a fair, and you bump into this girl who you learn is a princess at that castle where you're getting tried. But she drops a pendant. Obviously, I play video games. I'm gonna go grab the necklace. I don't want to keep it. I'll give it back to her if that's what I'm supposed to do. So I went and grabbed the necklace first. One of the questions in the courtroom was like after they said stuff about the necklace, they asked me if I was greedy. And I said no. And then they pointed out that I went to the necklace first instead of talking to her and checking on her to make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
You also could have just eaten this dude's lunch by interacting with an item.
That's a really cool mechanic though.
Yeah, it's super cool. I love how the things you do, they affect it.
Yeah.
Like I think I told you about that other one where that one dude, he was like the mayor of the town below where you start, and his whole family hates him. But you can buy an item near him and then go back in time 400 years, and you meet like his great grandma or something, and she's like, "Oh, I would like some of this spicy jerky." "Oh, do I smell spicy jerky on you?" "Yes, here, have this." "Oh, I'll pay you. I'll pay you 10,000 gold for it." I spent 9,900, so I get 100 more gold, and I chose not to because I had a ton of money. Because you're not supposed to grind levels, but I grinded levels because I'd like to. So I had a lot of money. So I just gave it to her, and she was like, "Oh, thank you. I'm going to teach my generation, the generations to come, to be so generous." And then you go back to 1000 AD, you go to that house. His kids love him. His wife says how generous he is. It is so funny.
Yeah.
But
the time travel mechanics of that game
it's
like
so
seem really cool.
It's so entertaining. There is a reason. Look up on your phone on Google best JRPG of all time. It's going to be the thing that pops up first. I can see why people regard it as that. It's really good. Like in that courtroom,
Chrono Trigger.
You could have eaten that dude's
Chrono
lunch.
Cross? Is that a sequel?
I want to say there are.
It came out 4 years later.
I want to say there is something after it.
Yeah.
But
it takes the 18th spot on the list of best JRPGs of all time. It's a sequel to the spectacular Chrono Trigger. And a bona fide masterpiece.
Yeah, there's
that came out in 99.
There's 14 endings to the game.
Damn.
Like, it just depends on when you go and fight the final boss. I went and fought him as soon as I could, and I got the first ending, which is just you lose, and then you get to see how the world ended.
Yeah.
Which it's really cool. Like, if you get to a certain point, and you've done a few other objectives along through the story, and you go fight the final boss, you'll get an ending where your character doesn't go and fight the final boss, but like the robot you found, he's been filled with spirit, and he's the one that fights him.
Yeah.
Like you can. I think it's still like the world ends if you do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many different things that are all very like specific. Like, if you missed the stuff right there and you fight the boss instead, it's like those events that were going to happen in your playthrough, it shows how they're altered in the cutscenes. Like, if you went there instead of going to 65 million BC and doing that bit of the story, if you went and fought the boss before then, you would see how they weren't able to fight against the reptiles, which are like the dinosaur people. Like, you saw how the humans like lost the fight. And it's cool. It's really cool.
That sounds cool. Yeah.
There's a channel called Josh Strife Hayes. He's got it too. He on that channel he does the worst MMO. He just plays. played like 60 something MMOs and just is trying to find the worst one.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. They're absurdly long videos, like 3 hours long for a lot of them.
Yeah.
But he's got Josh Strife Plays, and he's got Was It Good? And he's played like Tomb Raider. Chrono Trigger is the one. Like, I will play some of the game, and then I'll watch a little bit until I get to where I am. So then if there are endings, like he'll say, like, if you went in, if fought the boss this time, you'd get this ending. And so I'll get to see all the endings without playing through them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's such a good game.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll maybe not have any more tangents.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm open. This one. Yeah. We're good. On the timestamps, just put like you know whatever it is, like
Chrono Trigger tangent. I gotta have a Skyrim tangent. Have I talked about my modded Skyrim? We'll keep going.
We'll get to it.
Because I've played a lot of Skyrim recently.
Either we're gonna get to it, or that's the next episode thing. Yeah. We're gonna have to see about it.
I gotta piss so bad.
I gotta piss too. We'll be right back. This is where we would put in an ad if we had ads.
So now that we're back from our now continuing your regularly scheduled program.
In that one scene though, DiCaprio was asked if the only reason he married Molly was because De Niro told him to, and he was like, and this is the only thing he said no to. He said yes to everything else, and this is the only thing he said that like wasn't just yes, just like a one-word answer.
Scary. That's 100% Gary. My mom would have been flying down the driveway.
And he said, no, I married her because I drove her in my taxi. That's how it happened. I love her, you know? And that's like the scene that really drives it in. Like, I think he does genuinely love her despite all the horrible things he did to her and her family. Because, I mean, he didn't know that it was poison just because he's a dumbass. You know what I mean? Because, you know, and that's the only thing he says in the whole scene other than yes. And like, damn, you know how sometimes in movies...
Yes, no. That's literally a JoJo's reference, my guy. I can't... Dude, everything is a JoJo's reference. You don't understand. Everything is a JoJo's reference.
You know how sometimes in movies, like, not showing something, like, gory or something, like, happening is almost more effective than showing everything?
Like in Loki, when they closed all those people in that cube. Or I wish it was the boys and we got to see them get squashed in the cube.
Or, hey, Runty. Or in Daredevil, there's a scene where Kingpin is, like, bashing a guy's head in with the door of a car.
Awesome.
And, like, all you see is, like, him doing it, and, like, you see the blood dripping down, but you don't see the actual bashing, and it's, like, the picture in your head is almost worse than if they actually showed it.
And
it
is.
Mm-hmm. And
it's like when they show the big bad of, like, a horror movie that's all suspense-based.
And it's, and them keeping the camera on DiCaprio during that, like, it puts you in Molly's shoes because you know that she's in the audience, and, like, so you're only left to picture how it would feel to hear your husband, like, do all of that, you know, and then say that, like, he loves you still, you know, and it's, like, just that conflict of emotion and be like, what the fuck? And, you know, yeah, or, like, you know, that in Osage Indian language.
Yeah.
And... like, that scene in particular was just so crazy good. Like, the whole movie was pretty good, but I just love that one scene in particular. And at the end of the movie, it did kind of a 90s movie thing, but instead of like, and Tommy went on to become a professional baseball player or whatever.
Like Undercover Boss.
Yeah, it was done as like a live recording of a true crime radio broadcast with like people in the audience and everything. And... They had, like, sound effects done live and all that. Like, they had a typewriter up there, and they had, like, you know, scribbling noises for, like, writing a note.
I saw this thing. It was a typewriter that had a backspace key.
Dude.
Because it would put whiteout on it. It would just put a little bit on there, just backspace. You could do it, like, a few keys. Like, you couldn't backspace the whole way, but you could backspace a little bit, which is so crazy.
That's really cool.
It's a typewriter.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was really great of how that was done, like the whole like radio broadcast. Because I didn't even know they had like true crime radio broadcasts before like podcasts were a thing. Like I didn't know that. And anyway, it was like a full.
You ain't never watched Cops?
No.
You didn't watch Cops?
What is that?
I think it was on True TV. It was just
What
like,
is True TV?
are you serious?
Yes. What?
What? World's Dumbest, that show?
No.
Are you? Oh my god.
What? What language are you speaking? I don't. What?
Man, True TV was the best. They had such awful things on there. That was like,
I'll take your word for it.
that was like the degenerate side of TV.
Mm.
It was like America's Funniest Home Videos, but more mature because the hosts would say fuck and talk about sex.
Yeah. Anyway, I keep forgetting to do this, but any movie we talk about or we review or whatever, we need to give our internet content score, which is just we made it or we didn't make it. Cuz we did the whole internet, but just only the good stuff, cuz we didn't do any of the bad stuff. We did all the good internet stuff. I would say we made this movie. I would. It was really good. It was way too long. It was really good. Like you could take an hour and a half out of it.
We definitely made Chrono Trigger.
Oh yeah, 100%. Landon pretty much made Chrono Trigger.
So fucking good.
Yeah. But man, that's all I got. How long are we into the episode?
Hour and 15 minutes. I know we've had a few little breaks in here.
Yeah, I mean, didn't we say the minimum is like 45 minutes? That's perfectly fine.
We've got our time.
And I feel like that's about all we got for this episode.
Yeah, no, I got nothing else to talk about.
We pretty much ran through all our topics. We did 2 episodes in a day.
I know, this is crazy.
I mean, hey, yeah. I mean, doing it in person though,
it does help. It makes it a lot different.
These episodes are going to be better.
It did not feel as awful to just sit here.
Yeah, because we're just vibing.
Because when I will record in my bedroom a lot of time because the bed is a little soundproofing.
Yeah,
and it's not gonna pick up the AC if it turns on as much. It's just not too comfortable to sit there. So sitting there listening to you explain a movie then is not as okay as it is now.
Yeah, that's why I did this one now.
Mm-hmm.
And but next episode, gonna talk about a ghost story. That is gonna be a lot shorter. That's gonna be like a little like less spoilery because there's not a whole lot of spoilery stuff, and it's very like I don't know, existential, and it's like more of like what you perceive it as being instead of like this is what happened. Anyway, that's about all we have for this episode. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and that's all linked in the description, no matter what platform you're on. And so are our socials along, especially the TikTok. Watch our TikToks.
Yeah, you can watch the YouTube Shorts versions. They're the same.
Yeah.
Except the one with the flaming child. Isn't that one still on TikTok?
No, it got taken down too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, update. It just took them longer.
Okay.
Yeah. If you made it to this point in the video, we would really appreciate it if you subscribed or, dropped a like, whatever you want to do. And we hope to see you again in that next episode.
Dude, I'm going to play Skyrim.